it's me, Thomas Lockwood, doing this week's YouTube video. Well, technically, it's the end of the week, and I'm recording this quite late, and I was a dumbass. Let's just put it that way. But I've got some news to also say about after I've done this, so I'll say it afterwards. First one I'm going to talk about today, and the finals of the greens, the ones that just couldn't fit in a spot. So, first one I'm going to talk about is Asher the Sky Centaur. Now, this was a dude I thought could be in a flying theme, and then found out there was only 2 flyers, so I gave up. 3 flyers and gave up. So, he has double green and free for 5/5. That is actually very good. With a green and X tap, he deals damage equal to target creature. Deals X damage to target creature with flying. That's very good. You could sort of somehow give him flying in mono green, which is impossible, and then kill him off. So, and he has a channeler, but that only works if you discard him from your hand, and if you do, he deals X damage to each creature with flying. So, he's not good, and nearly was cut, but I wanted to say about him. Next one I'm going to talk about is Donsan the Fallen Leaf. Now, anyone want to play counter spells? Well, screw you, we're playing Donsan of the Fallen Leaf. What do I mean? Well, he's double green and 1 for a 2/2. That's not great for green. Players can only cast spells during their own turn. That is the bit that people use him for. Now, I'll give him credit. He is not used as a commander, but he is used in decks because they are the only ways they can counter spells. Hint, my LVDH. Next one. Hasutasu, Honored Physicist. I'll read it off the card, then tell you literally what it means. During your turn, before you attack, you may tap him to put any one creature from your graveyard to the top of your library. AKA, before your combat step, you tap him. It's a tap, and you put a creature on top of your library, from your graveyard to the library. Now this is terrible because it's only a 1/2 for 3 mana. Bad. Real bad. But, and this is a major but, there will be a card in the future in green-white that is talking about saplings. Is a tree folk that is indestructible and lets you draw cards. He plus this card equals a nice combination because you can control what you draw. Pretty much, you attack with him, you get to draw a card from your graveyard. I like this idea. But until we get to that, he's bad. Next one we'll talk about is Insane Life Espest. Now, I would like to point out this is a split commander because there is actually 2 commanders that fuse into one. The other one's in black, this one's in green. And when we get to the black one, I'll tell you when we get to when we've been to the green one, so that will link together. Anyway, it's a 6 mana 4/4, double green and 4. That's not too bad. When he dies, so he actually has to go to the graveyard. You have to exile him. Now, if you do, you return any number of target spirit cards from your graveyard to your hand. Now, I'd like to say one thing. I'm not 100% sure when you, if there's a time where, if it's an ability that says when he dies, exile him, if you get to put it in the command zone instead of exiling him. I'll leave that up to you. I wouldn't mind if you did. Let's put it that way. If it was exile and it was put straight to the commander zone. I don't mind that. So, I just want to point that out. Next one I'm going to talk about is Ishram of the Open Fist. Ugh, these bad names. Like, how am I supposed to say any of these names? He is a 5/5 for 4 mana. Yeah! Green getting some power finally. After almost finishing this whole blue thing. He has Trample, which is actually not too bad, for 4 mana. But when he enters the battlefield, each opponent may put a legendary creature, from his or her hand to the battlefield. I cast my 5/5 Trampler. 4. You don't have legendaries, do you? No. Okay, I'll just keep my 5/5 on the field forever then. Next, Jetty Omazan of Ethan, and why is that staring at my face? It's a 6 mana 5/5 with Forest Walk, triple green and 3, 10 silver and green, I guess. Whenever he attacks or blocks, you put a 2/2 green warrior cat onto the battlefield. Now, just to point out, with Forest Wall. Just to point out, this creature cannot be declared as an attacker or declared as a blocker because it would have been past the blockers or attackers step of that turn. So, just wanted to point that out. Next one. Yulgan the Rising Star, the one of the remaining 5 stars. There is 3 in one video and 1 in another. This is a 6-mana 5/5 with flying. Surprise, surprise. Triple green and 3. Wow, they do not like putting 5/5s on after Isron, do they? Anyway, whenever he dies, you may distribute 5+1/+1 counters to any number of target creatures. Now, this was bad. It still is. Next one. Kamahl, Fist of Khonson. And yes, it's the second Kamahl we've spoken about when the other one was in red. This is a 6-mana form of him. That is a 4/3. Double green and 4. But we're going to talk about a little thing. He is the best commander to stop your opponent's wrathing. How do I mean? Well, he has an ability. Target green, target land becomes a 1/1 creature until the end turn. Sure, I tap on my green mana, make all your creatures make all your lands creatures, or you wrath the board. I didn't. Now you have to blow up your board. That's brilliant. Then he has got the best second ability in the whole game of Magic in green that I have to say. Triple green and 2. Creatures you control gain +3/+3 and trample until the end turn. Obscene. It is an overrun at instant speed. Hey, why not? Let's have fun, eh? Anyway, next one I'm going to draw is Kamahl the Center Tree, one of the cycles of trees. There is 3, and we ironically will talk about all 3 in this row. His power... Oh, by the way, before I carry on. Yes, I could have made a spirit video. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spirits in this list. But I thought it would be better to put them all into one list. So, to anyone who actually noticed this. The Center Tree is green and 4 and has star size, power and toughness is equal to spirits you control. And it has Soul Shift X when X is also the name of spirits he controls. So, you control 4 spirits, he has Soul Shift 4 and is a 4/4 for 5. That's not too bad. In fact, another smart move you can do with him is if you get him to 6 and he goes to the graveyard, you can return him because he's 5. He is one of the few spirits that can return himself from the graveyard to the battlefield with Soul Shift. So, just wanted to point this out. Next one, we're going to talk about the North Tree, which is the best tree out of them all. Triple green and 2 for 6/4 trampling shroud creature. Oh, you want to see a different ability? No, that's what you get. You get a vanilla creature. Now, the only reason, and I'm literally saying the only reason why he didn't make the cut for the cuts, like, if that makes sense. Okay, the reason why he's not in the cuts is because he actually had a cycle. And I didn't want to break the cycle, so I just put him in. Okay? Not that I didn't notice him, it was because I wanted to do the cycle, okay? Just to point this out. Last one we're going to talk about in the tree cycle anyway is double green and 2, and it's the South Tree. He's a 4/4, so actually a 4/4 for 4 is not too bad. And he is one of the best cards that I like in this that I don't see. That's not difficult. There's only 2 I like here that I didn't see ever. Whenever you cast a Spirit or Arcane, each other creature you control gains +1/+1 and trample until your turn. So this guy can become a really big beater, if that makes sense. Next one we're going to talk about is Masuya First to Life. Triple green and 3. The Wizards, what with triple green and double green? Give me plain legendaries, god damn it. And his worst thing is his ability's not even good. He's a star, and his power and toughness is equal to the twice the number of cards in your hand. The only problem with this is green doesn't have a lot of card draw. I could name one off the top of my head who's Harmonized, and that's about it. Green doesn't have a lot of good draws. Engines. Next one we're going to talk about, which is actually a single green at long last. Malaria. Zivron Outcast. Now, you know when I said there was 2 creatures on this list that could be used as commanders, or I've seen as commanders? North Tree was one of them. Fist of Corazon Kamal was one of them, and Malaria I actually used myself purely for the second ability, but I'll go through all 3 of them. She is a 2-mana 2/2, which is this is what I call a hate bear, and a lot of people do, so I'm just going to call it a hate bear. You can't get poison counters. Your creatures creatures you control can't have -1/-1 counters placed on them, and your opponent's creatures lose Infect. Now this is actually very good. So, just wanted to point that out. You use it -1/-1s and can just go, I'm going to give -1/-1. I'm going to persist everything back to the field and win the game. I'm going to persist everyone off on the table. Ha ha ha. Next one we're going to talk about is Reiki, the history of Kamigawa. Pretty much it's a 3-mana 1/2, green and 2. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, draw a card. That's it. But he is one of the most brokenest commanders in the game. But not as a commander. The captains say, oh yeah, I'm going there. I'm going deep. Next one is Kesa, Season's Guide. Triple green and 5. He enters the battlefield with 8 +1/+1 counters on him. If damage would be dealt to him, prevent that damage and remove that many +1/+1 counters and make that many spirits onto the battlefield. You sacrifice 8 spirits to return him from the graveyard to the battlefield. Now this is actually very good because there is a card called Doubling Season, everyone. So he enters the battlefield with 16 +1/+1 counters, and when you prevent damage with him, you remove that many +1/+1 counters, but you get 2 spirits, and then you just infinitely loop if you can remove -1 +1/+1 counters off him forever. So yeah, I like this idea. Next one we're going to talk about is Shisao Tato, Whisperer Hunter. Single green and 3 for a 2/2. Not that bad, but not that great. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a snake. Even worse. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player skips the next untap step. Wait, what? Did I just hear Yoshi on a green creature? You're joking me. So you see, I get all them tappy things, and I tap all their things down, and then I'm going to keep hitting them with this, make a snake every turn, and just go, screw you everyone, I'm just going to keep making your opponent dead. What the monkeys is going on with hell? That's all I can say about that one. Next one, and final one, Fereth, Nasua Primus. Now, he is the most funniest commander because he is a 10/10. If you give him Vigilance, he's a 10/10. Because he is double green and 5 for 5/5, so 7 mana. That's not too bad, but really not great for green. Most of these cards ain't great for green and legendaries, so that's my eyes. Green and tap. Dark creature gains +5/+5 until the end of turn. Oh yeah, baby, you can give a creature its Baron Doubtless. Yeah. And that is all for today. We're going to be starting on Black tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but Sunday, Monday. And oh yeah, the big news. I'll be able to record at least for this week in the evening, and that's very good. And on August the 18th, it will be my birthday. Now, I won't be making YouTube videos on that, so I might be delayed on the ones after that Sunday, but I'm hoping to still give them to you. And that is all for today, guys, and like I said, I hope you have a nice weekend, and bye bye.